What up, you guys? Welcome back. Before I get into this video, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there that has been watching my videos. I'm still trying to figure out the direction I want to take this channel, but I'm just making these videos and talking about everything I've been through. It's really hard not to talk about the war stories because I've done some insane stuff just for a little bit of dope money. And I know a lot of people out there can relate. And it's really hard. It's really hard because a lot of people like the war stories. I like the war stories, but I don't want to say anything that could result in legal trouble. You know, I've been to jail, been to prison, and I did my time. I served my time, legit, and I'm not trying to go back. So, just to refresh your mind, my name is Daniel. Welcome back to the Righteous Monkey YouTube channel. And I'm an addict. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, I'm an addict. And I've been addicted, I was addicted to opiates for approximately 13 years. Started off with pills and worked my way up to heroin. And I didn't go to the doctor and get prescribed meds, pills, anything like that. I just started using recreationally, right? And because I had some sadness in my heart, and instead of dealing with my issues in a healthful manner, I abused drugs, and I abused prescription medication that wasn't prescribed to me. And without doing research as to the long-term effects and what will happen if I don't continue taking those meds, without doing any of the research, one day I became physically addicted. I don't remember the first time I recognized that, but in order to mask that stress, once I became addicted, I just started using more and more and more and more, running away from that sickness, the physical sickness of not using opiates. And it's all survival, it's all survival at that point. Like I've heard in another video, I've done a lot of things, a lot of dirtbag things. It's not personal, it's just business. Okay. The last treatment center I was in, they allowed me to go to leave the rehab. I was in rehab for 4 months, and the last month, I think it was the last 4 or 5 weeks of my treatment stay, they allowed me to go to the University of Arizona, and I got I had to take like a month course, I think it was, and I got certified to become a recovery support specialist. So if you're in detox, if you're in rehabs, you may have heard of the term RSS, peer support, a BHT, behavioral health technician. I am all of that. I got certified through the University of Arizona, and I used to be a life coach when I got out of treatment. They wanted me to work, the staff at the treatment center I was at, they wanted me to work there like a year after I got some clean time. But I was already working at another treatment center here in Tucson, and I was a life coach there. Um, it was me and this other guy. We took the same class at the U of A, and we were the only life coaches there that were certified to be life coaches. The other staff there, they were cool. They had the life experience of addiction. Um, so it was pretty cool having me and this guy there that were certified, and then having the other guys there that were in recovery. Which is cool. We all lived the same. We all lived in the same darkness, if you will. Um, so the technical definition of a recovery support specialist is someone with a lived experience of behavioral health and/or substance use recovery who has received specialized training on how to use their experience to help others. So ultimately, I'm certified to work with addicts. I'm not a doctor. I'm just certified. I have specialized training on how to use my experience, everything I've been through, to work with other people that were in my situation, meaning addicts. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, give you a little more info on who I am. And this channel is a lot of fun. I don't have many subscribers. I'm still new. I'm less than 100 subs, but that is okay. I'm not tripping. I'm not here for the stats. I'm not here for the money. And if the money does come later down the road, cool. But I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to sell my soul, whatever. So I just love doing this. I've always been a natural, a natural giver, if you will. I love helping others. It makes me feel good. So there's that. Excuse me. So this morning, I just wanted to get a video out before I start my day. I have my own business. I resell primarily men's clothing on eBay. So before I start my day, I just wanted to get this video out there, and I hope it helps somebody. So I want to talk about how drug addiction affects families and loved ones. I made some notes here, so you'll see me looking at my laptop. I used to think my addiction only affected me. It took me years to understand how wrong I was. For the most part of my life, I lived with my parents until I was 25. And then I had my own spot. I got into some legal trouble. And my parents went through a divorce. So instead of me losing my condo, I had my mom stay here, and she took over the bills while I served some time in prison. So there's that. Okay, so let's get into this. How drug addiction affects families and loved ones. So if you have an addict living with you, say for example your son, and he or she is using, As time goes, as time progresses, there's going to be it's possible that the family may experience some emotional turmoil, um, and the families may experience, a wide range of emotions, worry, anger, guilt, and helplessness. Um, of course, the family is always going to worry, right? Um, because they're not equipped. There's no, the only way that you could understand what a family is going through is if you've been through it. So they're going to worry about, their son, their daughter, whatever. They're going to be angry because they, it's possible they hope that why don't you just quit, you know? Why don't you just quit? There's going to be a lot of talking at going on. Um, when I was in my addiction, I still remember to this day, um, my mother told me that I am one of the, actually, she said, you're the weakest person I've ever met. And that was because every morning I'd wake up sick, right? I'd be asking for money, whatever. I'd be taking money, whatever. And then I'd leave for the day until she went to work. Then I'd come back and I'd be, just getting high, whatever. And it was ugly. It was real ugly. Um, and then the family, they may also experience, guilt and helplessness. They don't know what to do at this point. And that emotional turmoil will drain you. It will drain you. And there's help out there. So just know that. Financial strain may also be a factor in the household. Um, the drug addiction itself is costly. If the addict is abusing opiates, they're going to need that every day. And there will be some times in the beginning that a family will just give cash out just to not see their loved one sick, right? And that's going to become a pattern. And then once they start looking into treatment, like a rehab, something like that, they're going to realize that's not cheap. Um, there's state-funded treatment centers, but the addict themselves will have to qualify for that. If they have a job, if they're um, functional addicts, you have to make less than a certain threshold. And if you make more than that, um, you may not qualify for it, or you may have to pay for a portion of treatment. And the families and loved ones, they may have to bear those costs, meaning they may have to pay for any treatment or any additional help for the addict. And there's obviously going to be a strain on the relationships. Everybody in the household, um, including the addict, everyone's going to be physically and mentally drained. Um, everybody's affected. Everybody. Not only does the family have to maintain their life, but they have to learn to live with this new situation going on. Ever since the addict was born up until the time they started using, that's the person they knew. But once the addict um, has been bit by the addiction drug, then it's going to be a learning curve for the family and all the loved ones involved to learn how to deal with that situation. Um, Throughout the time of the addiction, the addiction process, there's going to be codependency on the family side. They're going to be so wrapped up in the situation that enabling can occur. And I'm sure you guys heard the term enabling. Um, Once enabling is introduced, that's when the addict's addiction just intensifies. It grows with each time they're enabled. Each time they get the $5, $10, $3, the addict will make that cash work. You know, the addict is going to use um, a lot of mental chess. They know what's worked in the past when they got, a certain amount of cash. So they might try and use that technique, if you will, to get more cash or something new. So there's going to be a lot of mental gymnastics that goes on. Um, Sometimes a family member may give them cash, or they may give them a ride to go pick up their dope, just because they want to see them safe. You know, that's definitely a huge form of enabling. The family may think they're like, that's not really a big deal because they're keeping their eyes on the addict, and as long as they're safe, then that's okay. Anything to minimize the stress, can be done, but that's affecting all parties involved, um, as well as the addict, because the addict knows they're getting away with things that are going on, and they're just going to ride that out until the end, until they get kicked out, until they get put in jail. Um, so it's all survival, you know? It's just business, not personal. It's just business. I need my fix. You're not going to get in the way of me getting my fix. If you're not hooking me up with some cash, move aside. On to the next person. Um, Excuse me. So there's going to be an impact on the children, right? Whether it's the younger siblings or the child of an addict. And it's possible children of addicted parents may experience emotional and behavior problems as a result of the addiction, right? Um, the children may also be at risk of neglect or abuse. If the addict has nobody to watch the kids and they need their fix, they may put the kid in the back seat. They may put the infant in a car seat or ride with them on their lap just to go get their fix. Boom, if they get pulled over, a host of things could happen. There's going to be some legal trouble there. And as time goes on, the child is going to remember those things, eventually. And they're definitely going to experience some emotional and behavior problems. They're going to notice that their parent um, is preoccupied with something. Usually the baby, usually the children are number one. But from my experience, getting my fix, that was the main priority. My addiction was my priority. These dogs right here, they're my world right now. They are why I work so hard. They are why I started a business, so I could give them everything they need. Look at, they're at peace right now. They just ate. They have everything they need. when I was addicted, all these dogs behind me, that's where they stood. That's where they stayed. That's where they remained behind me. As long as I was high, I'd be able to care for them. When I was experiencing withdrawal and sick, when I woke up, I didn't want to deal with them. I didn't want to take a shower. I didn't want to eat. I couldn't. I just needed to get some cash, and then I needed to hit the road. I was on autopilot. Autopilot. Without even thinking. Just got my keys, hit the road. Everything else was secondary. Getting high, it was just business. You know, it's possible that isolation may occur. I mean, it's definitely going to happen with the addict, but with the family as well. Families and loved ones, they may feel isolated and alone with their struggles. You know, they may feel like the only ones on earth that is dealing with this situation at hand. They might not know where to turn for help at the beginning. The help is out there, but you just got to do a little bit of research. Reach out, make some calls, hop online, you know. They may feel ashamed to talk to anybody, you know, about their loved one's addiction. And that is going to keep them isolated. That is going to keep the vicious cycle going. It's an ugly thing, man. It's a real ugly thing. And if you're an addict in active addiction right now, if you're a parent of, or family member or friend of someone who's in active addiction, there's still hope. Do not give up. When you give up on yourself, you give up on the addict who is just doing what they have to do to survive. There is support and treatment out there for the family, and support and treatment out there for the addict. And with that treatment, both parties, both sides, the addict and the family, that's when you could improve your coping skills and get the will back to maintain and create a healthy lifestyle again. It's possible. It's real possible. There's always hope. That is the main thing I try and push on this channel is hope. When I was in the last treatment center, like, I knew I was done. I always had hope, you know. Before I went to rehab, I was hoping I'd never woke up in the morning. Like, I just didn't want to wake up sick. I had hope. And when I got into rehab and I was ready to quit, that hope kept me going. And I was able to reach where I am today. 4 years of clean time, 4 years of recovery. I have my dogs. I'm able to eat again. I'm able to have cash in my pocket. I'm able to have healthy relationships. Yes, I keep my circle small, but that's the way I stay clean, you know? I'm a Virgo. I don't believe in horoscopes or nothing like that, but in regards to description of zodiac signs, I'm a true Virgo. We don't like negativity. We don't like stress, nothing like that. So I keep my circle small so I don't get hurt, so I don't get damaged, you know. And that's one thing I watch closely, you know. I think a couple weeks ago I went to a meeting an AA meeting, just because I wanted to stay on top of my recovery. I didn't want to become complacent. That has always, complacency and downtime has always been a negative impact on me. You know, that has always led to a lapse in my recovery, which eventually leads to a relapse, and that continuous cycle of waking up, going to get high, going to sleep, waking up, and doing it all over again. So that's it. I hope this video helps somebody. If you're in active addiction, I hope this refreshes your mind as to the damage that's going on with the people that love you and care for you. If you're blessed to have people out there that want to see you well, I want to see you well, because I know how ugly this addiction stuff is. I've been there, man. I was one of the worst addicts out there. But if you made it this far, thank you. Thanks for listening. Hit that like button if you appreciated this conversation. And I'll catch you on the next one, all right? I got to get my day started. Thanks for listening.